Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. It's Sunday the 25th, and I was going to go on earlier, later, but party got canceled because of snow. So we're here at the regular time. I hope you're doing well. I've got a couple people on the list already. Let's talk about current events and the bullshit that is this administration. Yesterday, a gentleman by the name of Alex Peretti was executed in Minneapolis on the streets while a legal he had legal right to carry a firearm. They tried to say that he was armed, but they actually disarmed him before they executed him. The reason why they chose, and I really do believe there was an active choice on who they went after, um, a white man, and also I believe the same thing with um, Miss Good was a white woman, is because they want to scare the white people away from protecting our brown brothers and sisters, and that's their aim. They want to stop. They want to keep you scared and keep you in your house and keep you from calling because you're afraid it's going to happen to you. Hi, Tani. Um, oh my goodness. Good morning. Oh, happy birthday. um, so it's they because they know they're losing the fight. So you have to keep protesting. You have to keep protesting with your pockets. You have to keep calling your senators and your congressmen. And I did find it interesting that finally the Democrats were like, "Oh, we're not going to vote for it anymore." Funding for ICE after this one. Well, why the fuck did it take that long? Why didn't you stop funding ICE when, with all the detention centers and the deaths that were happening there and the illegal seizures of people and kidnapping of people? Whatever. It's because they look like me. So, racism is alive and well in the United States. So, I will say that it's not done. And I have said this. I did get the thing yesterday that I felt like there's going to be a huge reckoning in 2027 for a lot of these terrorists, because that's what they are. There was a Navy SEAL who compared them to ICE to ISIS. Well, racism is all over the world, but it's running wild and free here right now. So, so it, it's not going to last. Um, it's not going to be forever. This is There's too many of us compared to them. And I listened to somebody who talked about, it was interesting, on the cities that they're choosing. Like even when they go to Maine, it's a town of like 37,000. They're choosing to make a lot of noise in cities that aren't that large. And yes, Minneapolis is large, but it's not New York City, right? So they're choosing those cities to try and make a really loud impact. It's just very interesting if you just watch the patterns. It's they're very predictable. And the other thing about, it's like we look at them as like a large scale narcissistic abuse. Narcissists make a lot of noise, but you can get them to back down fairly easily. We are in a terrible space now, but this is not going to remain that way forever. Oh, Catherine in Colorado. It's your birthday too. Oh, you were saying happy birthday to Tanya. Okay, but not your birthday. Well, after this, I'm going out to shovel. So yay. Um, thank you, Tani. We are certainly, I don't know. I can't speak for the whole of the country. Okay, so um, I still don't have this damn bookshelf up. It's still in pieces here, in like three major pieces, and I need to ask them to do it. But this week has been a little busy. They're hopefully they're done. They should be done with the bathroom in the next couple days. And then I think I'll have to come back to put the shower door on because the glass door, I'm ordering it. I ordered, I don't know, whatever. It's not in stock, the one I want. So when it's in stock, I'll have them put it in. So, does anybody have any other questions? Because I don't really, so there's readers who will sit and like go like, I sat and meditated on it and I got all this information. That's just like not me. I don't really like to sit in the information. I did ask to dream about stuff, but I don't remember any of my dreams. So I don't know if I did or not. Sure, you can donate for one. Hi, Allie. Okay, I'll check. Nicole, I got yours too. So if you want to ask questions about current events, and Cindy, I have yours. So here, let me update the list really quick. If you want to ask questions about current events, please ask them yourself because then like the information comes to me easier. But like when I do it, it just like I feel like ho hum on the energy. I don't know any other way to explain it. Oh man alive. I was thinking about bringing my glasses down and I forgot them. I need to keep a pair down here. Nicole, how have you been? It's been a little bit. Ooh, almost gave you 20 questions. All right. Okay. Your screen name is something different. Hi, Jolie. Hang on. So I thought it was funny. Okay, so I've been speaking a lot of Spanish lately, and I'm not going to explain why. I don't want to flag anything weird here or send out any kind of, but my phone picks up, like all of your apps are listening all the time, even if you have like no cross, whatever, they just are. So especially if you can use a microphone. So, but like in Instagram, I start getting, and like basically in everything, in TikTok, everywhere, they'll just start feeding me Spanish speaking videos. But I saw this really cool one that was recommended in Instagram because I do a lot of like, there's a lot of craft stuff I look at there. And so I found this like creator who I follow now. She's Spanish speaking and she's got all these great crafts I can do. So I don't know if you speak another language, speak it around your phone. K2, that's who I was looking for your name there. Okay, hang on. Where did my update go? Jeez Louise. I deleted it. Okay, give me a second. I need to put everybody's names and everything. It just like disappeared for me. Okay. So we're going to do crafts later after I shovel. And I'll show them to you next week. Just like cute little decorations on paper that you can make like little notes and Valentines and things with, but they like fold really pretty. And I'm a sucker for pretty folding. I don't know if you've seen those like the pretty wrapping paper where you can fold it and then it looks like a tree on the outside of the present. Maybe not. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself here. Then you guys chime in, but it's like the delay makes it feel like I'm talking to myself a little bit. And so I laugh at myself a lot. Can't laugh at yourself. Good morning, Regine. You're not late. You're perfectly on time. I'm just rambling. I was looking for K YouTube. That was your screen name. Hey, McKeegan, how are you? You said hello last time, and then I think you disappeared because you didn't stay for an oracle card reading. Okay, so we'll go by the list. Okay, so I'll start with Catherine. Are you here? Do you want to ask her questions? If not, Regine and Katrina, you guys could start typing so then I can kind of go from one to the next. It will help save time. I just posted it. That might be why you didn't see it. It should be in the comments. It is really sad that people are getting hurt. I think what's, they're taking American citizens, they're kidnapping American citizens, because that's what it is. The people who were, they were kidnapping the witnesses. I refuse to call it taking into custody. They were kidnapping. That's what they're doing. They have no warrants. They have no reasons. You can't detain people for witnessing a crime. You can't detain people for, you have to go through the proper channels for it. You can't detain people because they said a mean thing to you and you didn't like it. When people are, threatening or videotaping, I mean, not threatening, but just, making comments or videotaping, or, they have a lot of uneducated people who've been told that they have unfettered rights to do whatever they want with no consequences at all, which is untrue. And unfortunately, when you go through the courts and do things legally, it does take time. I do know that the state of Minnesota has already said they're going to bring charges against I hate calling them officers because they're just not. They're terrorists. Okay. I can imagine that your parents are very afraid, Nicole. Or wait, Allie, sorry. I thought that was Nicole that posted that. I don't know why I thought that was Nicole that posted that. That's weird. I mean, if you look like me, somewhere down the line, you have immigrants in your family. And on my mom's side, we're like probably 9 generations in being here, something like that. And my dad's side, though, I'm 3rd generation American because my great grandparents came here. My great grandfather had $20 in his pocket and the name of a guy to give him a job in Chicago. It's like, I knew him. It's not like it was, it's just insane what they're doing. It's insane what they're doing. And when people say if they do it legally, if they come the right way, well, you know what, even if you overstay your visa, it's the same level of crime as jaywalking. It's nothing. It's a misdemeanor. It's insane. They're trying to demonize people. I mean, there's just crazy people in charge right now, and all of the people around him are crazy and probably psychopathic. I don't know. You'd like some tea on Usha Vance? You want me to read on her? I could. I guess I'll look at a picture of her. Okay. Ooh. Let me see, Catherine. Hold on. Yes, I did. I was rambling. Sorry. Okay. Should I utilize my fiction or nonfiction pieces of my MFA application? I feel like both are strong. Strong box. I'm wondering what my guides think is the best path for where you're at right now. That is a good, solid question, I have to say. The fiction one, it pops out more to me right now, and I'm not like literally just the word fiction is popping out really big in my brain. Mind's Eye. So I asked why. I was like, why is that one a better option or a better choice? And it felt like because it's more interesting to those that are going to read it. I see a man in general. He's a thin build with some facial hair. And I feel like it veers differently from like the same old applications and stories. It feels like he reads a lot of like, let me tell this like heartstring pulling story about my struggle in life I had, something like that, like along those lines. And he's kind of like in the mood. It just draws him in a little bit more because it is different. and it veers from the norm. Dreading shoveling the snow that's hammering down at the moment. I was like, I don't know, it's not, it's like all those little tiny flakes, so I guess it's probably a little more fluffy. The only thing I dread about shoveling snow is really the end of my driveway when they've plowed the street and it's like that pile with like, that's the only part I don't really like. Mostly because that's like the heavier stuff and it's harder to push. So that's what I feel. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, Catherine. Let me see if I can. Does that resonate? I mean, when I say that, does that go, oh yeah, that makes sense? Second one, you're typing fabulous though. I have like 15 different lip things and I feel like they're all like the same shade. It's like a habit. Because I'll lose one, I'll be like, I gotta get another one. I'm kind of a mess. I don't know if you'll know that. I mean, not in a bad way, but just like my brain is a little floaty sometimes. You're pretty sure. Okay. Yeah, I feel like the fiction is like it draws them in, and it's like it feels like a nice surprise for them or a nice break from the norm. Okay, you're working on your second question. You got electric shovel. Oh, interesting. I think so. We actually have a snowblower, but I just prefer shoveling. I know that sounds weird. I don't know. And we have like, I mean, our driveway is like on an incline, so then like, and even though it has its own drive, like, so it moves on, it's just annoying, and I'd rather just use a shovel. Which is sort of ironic because as a kid, like when I was in high school, we lived in Wisconsin. High school and college, I lived in Wisconsin. In high school, my dad wouldn't let me use the snowblower because I don't know if he thought I was like going to stick my hands in the blades. Like I guess he didn't. I don't know if he thought that did not have a very smart brain. I'm not sure, but and I might be a little floaty, but I'm not stupid, right? So, um, yeah. So I was like, all right, like sort of annoyed that I had a shovel, but now I just prefer it. I like the quiet and I like to hear the crunch of the snow. Maybe I just don't like the sound too of it. It's just very loud. Sorry, should I do the empath one or cyberpunk? Oh, okay. Immediately felt cyberpunk. Yeah, immediately. Like I'm like, is that? Yeah, nope, yep, immediately. I don't know if an electric shovel. My driveway's pretty big. I mean, it's not like terribly huge. Ooh, interesting. Is it, I'm just reading out loud, so if people watch back in my dreams. She said she's writing about ice stuff in fictional term in a fictional world. I don't have a sidewalk though to shovel because my driveway is like it comes up. I have a raised ranch, so like you come in on the basement level and like the top level is the main level, but like there's the two-car garage and the doors right there, so there's no real sidewalk. So I only have to shovel my driveway and that's it. You're welcome, Catherine. So Regine said she would be back. Also, if you want to join the community this week, we're going to do a manifestation Q&A / workshop kind of thing where we go through some coaching and things like that. I haven't picked a day and time yet, mostly because I want to have no work guys here. So it might be an evening. And I also want to check in and see for the members who like what's it, like give them a couple options of what's best time. Yeah, so if you want to join, that alone is probably worth the month payment because most people charge a lot for those things. Anyway, just saying. And because I've been learning a lot of I've been harnessing a lot of new approaches and techniques. I'm very excited about it. Your dad wanted your dad wanted to get you a snowblower, but he said I might be too heavy for me to use it. I mean, ours has like mine, I don't know, has a, like it pushes itself, it pulls itself, pushes itself, drive chain, whatever you call it. I don't know. But I don't use it because I just don't, I don't know. Plus, it's like an electric start. So that means like if I want to start, if it putters out and I want to start it in a driveway, I either have to drag it all the way back up or I have to like take a cord and bring it all the way down. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, honest to God, it takes me, depending on how heavy and thick the snow is, anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes to shovel my driveway. And that's like, I don't know. I'd rather just do that. Fight with a big, giant, heavy machine that's loud and noisy. Pull the headphones in. Crunchy crunch of the snow. So, okay. Okay, Regine's not here. Katrina, do you want to ask your question, or Cindy? Why don't you, Katrina and Cindy, write your questions, and Allie, we'll do the three of you. Then we'll just move through them. Pardon me clearing my throat continuously. Regina's here. Well, she wrote a comment about stepping away. She said she was sorry she had to step away. So that's why if she's not here, then you guys can just write yours. And I bet you anything, only because pattern recognition. Regina will probably say, I'd like a general reading, but I'll wait till she says, she always usually says I'm back if she's gone. She's pretty dependable. You were under the influence yesterday? I want to know who was influencing who or what was influencing you. What will your future partner be like? The first word that came to me was steady and calm. It's funny, they're organized, but like, cause they're like, I feel like you're pretty type B. And I feel like they're organized, but not in such a way that's like OCD or where your stuff bothers them. They're just organized, which I think also helps you. Steady and dependable. In your younger days, you might have called them boring, but they're not. They're just, I'm usually not the life of the party. They just don't need all of the attention. Oh no. Not no in a bad way. Sorry, Cindy. It was just like you were vulnerable about your feelings with the person you're seeing. Oh, THC. Listen, sometimes you got to garden, you know? I say better to be in the influence of that than other stuff. Oh, general for Katrina. Okay. Are you the pain in the butt? Usually guys need straight. I I don't think that you're necessarily a pain in the butt. I don't think it's that. I just think disorganized, or maybe a better way to put it is you haven't quite figured out your organizational patterns yet. So like for me, I know this is stupid. Even though I knew it, it didn't like connect the dots and wake my brain up. Whereas like, I have always been the type of person, like I can buy candy, and if I put it like, if I just put it in the cabinet, I'll forget about it. I'm very much an out of sight, out of mind person. So organization wise, if I want to make sure that I don't like lose stuff, I have to have it in clear containers. Sounds stupid, but I need to be able to see it in order to know it's there. So storing stuff in clear containers is better for me. It, it's just my brain organizes differently than others. I just feel like, it wasn't something that came naturally. Whereas there are some people that like organization and that stuff is like their thing that comes naturally to them, right? Um, you're always rearranging your stuff because nothing ever sticks. That's kind of an ADHD thing. Um, so there's some great creators online now that are like organizing for ADHDers, or executive function, for adults. Um, and I feel like he doesn't have the executive function issues, so he just is like has it together. That's not an area he struggles in. But I also feel like it's not an area where he judges you in it, or like he feels very understanding and solid. Even figured out. It's what I do. It was really interesting. Like I had a reading with a client this week, and I was like, oh, she's in the legal field, and but I was like picking up stuff for her medically, and she goes, oh yeah, I had it checked out, and that's like exactly what you're talking about. It's there. And I was like, and it's like hot sometimes. She's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so I don't think it's cancer because I don't either. And I was like, I don't see that. Like when I see cancer in people, it's black. And I said, when I see fatty lipomas, like women will get fatty lipomas in their breasts, or animals do too. It looks like chewed up, or they showed it to me like chewed up bubble gum. And I said, and cysts are like round, almost like, and I can tell if they're like hard or fluid filled or whatever, but they just look like mini breast implants, I guess is the best way to put it. But both of those, the fatty lipoma, they still have um, defined borders to them. But what I was seeing on her was not a defined border. It was just this diffuse area of what I'd said it reminded me of cellulitis. When you look at cellulitis, and if you've ever seen cellulitis, it's just, I was like, there's no borders to it. It's not, so I was like talking to her about some stuff, and I was like, okay, but like, I am not telling you to do this. I'm educating you on what I know about it, and you have to make your own decisions about the doctor's advice and legal disclaimer. She's like, yes, I read yours. I go, and they probably aren't legal at all. I totally get that, but I don't want responsibility for you making medical choices based on what I'm saying. But I'm always like amazed at the way things come through, and I get them, and how much I pick up on people without, even just not even trying. It's just like what I do. It's who I am. I can't help it. Sorry. Rearranging your stuff is a very ADHD thing too, by the way. Like rearranging furniture and things. I don't, because I don't have any way where to put things. But like, there's not really any other arrangements you can do. Um, I have a sister who was always, I think she's ADHD. She was always rearranging our furniture in our house. Come home and she'd change the living room around. My mom didn't care. Oh, your time management. I mean, you know, I'm guilty of it too. I was like really guilty of it and never really understood that there was the issues. And once I realized, like my thing is like, once I kind of realize and I see the pattern, I'm like, oh, I don't like, oh yeah. Where it's like, I used to have a habit of being like, oh, I can get this one little thing done before I leave and I'll be fine on time. And then I never am, because it turns out it's like, I didn't judge the amount of time correctly. That's executive function. And so now I just go, nope, I have to leave. I'll do it later. Like I just force myself. And the only things that make me late now are usually my kids. I love them. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I am getting on him. He just feels like gentle, and I'm not seeing what he looks like physically. It's more about like energetically what I feel about him and his personality and who he is on a core level. He feels very patient and understanding. So I don't know if that's the work he's done on himself to heal things, or if that's growing up with people in his home that have executive function issues, or if he's just very well educated because of what he does, so he understands it more. I mean, it sounds really like sad that nice is a really good quality. Kind might be a better term, because there's a lot of nice people out there, but they're not necessarily kind. And I feel like he's a kind person. Um, it feels like that should be bare minimum, right? But listen, genuine kindness is, I'll take it. Like the person who's nice and kind whenever nobody's around, not just when they think people are watching. Um, this is not a commentary on anything personal. It's just things I've noticed too doing readings and relationships, and there's a lot of performative people here in general. That's like you see like the stuff on social media where it's like it comes out that this like recently on TikTok there's a guy who's uh, a left leaning. I don't know if he considers himself leftist or liberal, but the only thing I saw about him was he was reporting on stuff on Minneapolis, and then it came out that he had sexually assaulted 3 women, and yet he was this person who was going around going like women's rights and I'm a feminist and blah blah blah. But like when it came to his own personal behavior, but it's like you don't really ever know who anybody is. Yes, way. And then I heard a woman say, and I thought, well, that's really true. She was like, most men don't even realize that they've assaulted other women. They don't realize the things that they are doing are considered assault, which, like coercion, where you're just like, come on, they're like that, or making people feel guilty, like guilting somebody into it, or like, all kinds of things. There's husbands that'll do it to their wives. And I mean, you just watch stuff. You'll see women comment all the different ways, and men wouldn't consider that. They didn't know because someone didn't flat out say no to them. So, okay. Katrina, you asked, hang on, let me find yours. You wanted a general. Yeah, you can tell when people are performative, making me feel like a child and belittle you. Oh, I'm sorry for exposing you. That's why I tell people don't use anything personal about yourself on here. I always find it interesting, like things that people use for their screen names. There was someone. Oh, I thought this was interesting. Think about this anything you do, the way you talk about yourself. This is like about manifesting. There was a woman who followed me, and I do go look at the people who follow me on stuff because I'm just curious. And she, in her description on her little bio on TikTok, she said struggling artist, and I wanted to be like, don't do it. Change that description, because then that's all you're manifesting. Sure, you can go after Katrina. Did I put you first or second? Oh no, you're right after Katrina. That's fine. That's the order I got you in. Oh, Allie jumped ahead. I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry. I mean, Allie didn't jump ahead. I pushed her ahead. She just put the question like I asked her to do. Okay, so let me do Katrina's general reading, and then Katrina, have you like there's respiratory stuff, or are you getting over something, or do you like have something like where like I feel like I'm coughing, but I also this is my what I call my right upper quadrant. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe your stomach's not right, but that's not mine. I felt kind of heavy. And I also felt a little anxious. Have you been more anxious this past week? Um, hmm. So I know you had a reading recently, but I feel like, and I don't remember if this came up or not. So, are you planning on having another one, child? Um, you've been anxious in general, no coughs or anything at all at the moment. Um, so there might be a little virus brewing or something. Just you hope to, okay? Because I was like, oh God, I don't know if this is like, because when I have clients that are like, no, no more, and I'm like, ugh. If you're not trying and you're not quite ready, or if you're not quite ready right now, be very careful because I feel like imminently pregnant. Like I feel like I had a conversation about it and I'm pregnant right away. Like if you're not pregnant now, it would be in like the 2 week. If you're not in the 2 week wait window, I'd be really surprised. But like I feel imminently pregnant. Your family got over the flu. Oh, that's right. I don't know that this is the flu. It just felt like it might even just be like a dry type thing. So maybe you need to like because it felt like a dry cough to me, not like a flu. Like I don't feel all over. It feels like I used to get like what's they call it, exercise induced asthma, something like that. Like I would basically get like bronchial spasms. But I could get it too if it was really, really dry and cold out. So um like have you ever it doesn't get that cold here in Jersey. But in Wisconsin it would get so cold, like I'd have to breathe through a scarf. Otherwise it hurt to breathe and it would cause felt like coughing. So just make sure you're hydrating, not dehydrating. We don't want to do that. We're not going into wrestling matches. Hydrate, which that is a crazy practice, by the way. Um, even if you don't use the humidifier, just go sit in the like we used to teach this for kids that had croup. Take them in the bathroom and just turn the shower on high. Don't get in the water, just breathe the steamy air. That might be helpful to you. Plus, you can hide if you need to, need a minute. Um, but yeah, I feel like you might be pregnant pretty quick here. Snowstorms will do it for you. 9 months, I bet there's going to be a whole host of babies born. There's going to be a baby boom in like 9 months for 40 weeks or so. Actually, less than that. You can relate to the hiding. Yeah, sometimes you just need to. Sorry. That's what I get for you. Okay, Cindy, what's your question? Wait, you want to ask about um, what he thought? Can you tell me his name? I also feel like it might be a she. Oh, Gabby had her baby. Hakeem. Okay. And they're doing well. Baby and mom are doing well. I feel like uh, did Hakeem know that you were gardening? Um, Gabby won't be here today, but she said she'll come next week. She was like, we were emailing and she was updating me. Um, was he aware that you were gardening, Cindy? Oh, okay. Oh, he gave it to you. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. Because I was like, he feels a little dense. Like, and I feel like he sort of thought, oh, that's just the cabbage talking. Uh, and it wasn't that he was dismissing it, but I feel like he was sort of trying to like not um okay. So I think what a lot of people misunderstand about being under the influence is that like, oh, you just say things and you don't mean them, but that's not true. It really what it is like, especially like, I mean, I knew this as a kid because alcoholics in my family. It's like, oh no, you're just saying the shit that's in your head and you just don't have a filter anymore, and that you actually have these thoughts all the time. But a lot of people be like, oh, I didn't mean it, because they don't want to take accountability. But really, they meant everything they said. They just had the bravery to be able to say it out loud. And I feel like he thinks that he's on the end of thinking like, oh, people don't like, you didn't really mean that. Like you didn't, that's what I feel like. I don't, um, like he would like it to be true, but he has that hard time of believing it. Figure out his hair stuff. I don't know. Sorry. So he also told you I was in my head and then I'm extra sensitive. Oh, that's like disappointing. Um, that makes me feel really yucky when I read that. Like, I guess it's the dense part, being dense and sort of dismissive. Um, do you want me to tell you what I really think? Like, no psychic stuff, but like, that's a huge red flag to me. Like, everything in me goes like, ooh, I don't like that. Yeah, I still don't like when someone says you're extra, you're like, to say that to somebody, you're in your head a lot. Well, people think, I don't know what to tell you. And if you don't communicate what's really going on within you, what am I to do but think? I mean, I take a different stance on it now with like the manifesting stuff. I really do. I'm just like, once I started working on my self concept, I don't worry about what somebody else is thinking anymore. I don't really care. I just like the on the manifesting end, and it's sort of like the self concept thing is like, it's probably not even about me. I don't really care. Like, that's sort of the route I go with it, is like, it's probably not even about me at all. Like, your bad day, you're not responding to me, whatever the fuck is going on, unless you say to me, I have a problem with you, it's probably not about me. And if you're not grown up enough to tell me you have a problem with me, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to spend my time worrying about it. Like, that's on you. You got to figure that communication out. Um, and your feelings are magnified. I kept repeating myself, was asking if I was making sense. Probably because you weren't getting the response that you felt like you needed in order to feel validated in what you were saying. To me, that means he's dismissing you. If you don't feel validated, like, he doesn't have to agree with you. You just, need him to validate what you're saying. There's one of the many topics you talked about. So one of the things that came up, you said that before I asked about her status. I'm going to tell you something right now. From a manifesting standpoint, I would about face stop focusing on him and focus on you. How amazing you are, what an incredible woman you are. Like really and truly, because you will start to see energy shift around you and how people treat you. That's fair to not remember certain points of it. I am fully in the belief system now, and I don't care if it seems delusional, where our thoughts create our reality, our beliefs create our reality. Not like every thought, right? But our beliefs create our reality on the thing. What do you mean by, oh, she remembers how she felt? Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I'm telling you that I get the feeling of being like not really believing what you're saying, not really being fully invested, and um, again, I feel like he's kind of dense. Um, I don't know. I don't know if this guy's the one. The other thing I would look at is like, and this is like from having done all the self-concept work, and because I've been in the position of like, what's going on with them? Like, where are they at? Do they like me? Am I enough? Like, I'm not saying you're doing that, but I'm saying like, I've been in that position of being really insecure. And I think in like every area of my life, right? Like work, friends, everything, like every area, like constantly, like, and that comes from trauma, right? Like that comes from having a lot of childhood trauma. But when I started working on and reparenting myself and really changing the inner dialogue I have happening, and it just changed to where I'm like, I'm not going to, and then understanding manifesting, and it's really incredible. Like several years ago, I had a disagreement with somebody and I didn't like the way they showed up. And in my head, like I had such a flat affect in my head, I thought, nope, this is the truth. And it was literally like, this is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to do. Like, this is how it's all ending out. Like, I didn't say it out loud. It was in my head. Nope, this is the truth. This is how it's going to happen. And then the next day, the person came back to me and literally verbatim said everything I said. Nope, this is the truth too. So I don't think he shines bright enough for you energetically. He feels flat to me and dull. He doesn't feel shiny. I can't explain the why when I feel somebody's energy the way it is. There's somebody that I know and their energy feels so solid and smooth and like they're so certain who they are. And it's like really comforting. And like this guy feels like there's nothing to grab onto. Like there's nothing, there's nothing solid there. He's not the way he presents now is not a good long-term partner for you. Donations are still open if you want, Violet. I'm not telling you to break things off. I had a client for years, and I think she still might be with this guy. Like, I don't know. And like, I can't tell you what to do. Sometimes we have to go through and learn the lessons through the experiences. I just don't think this guy is the one. Like, I don't see him being long term for you. And I think the best thing that you could do for yourself is you don't have to even tell him to leave. You don't have to tell him to pound out. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to just focus on yourself. Focus on what you want. I told my client this week, I was like, do the practical magic way of manifesting, like your list, so like when, if you haven't seen Practical Magic, I'm very sorry. Because I love that movie and I would love to have an apothecary, but just in my house. um, like with all the herbs and so what she did was she created, because there was this curse in the, oh good, someone else loves it too. So there's this curse on the women in line. I got the payment. I think, who's that? Hang on, let me see my face. I have to do resting bitch face for my phone. I don't know if anybody else has this, but like if I smile, it doesn't recognize me. like, it's like, oh, is that Misty? Oh, Misty, I didn't get you before. So did you just pay now? Because then somebody else asked to go. Asked if it was open. Violet's did. That's not Misty. Okay. So the point is that so there's this like curse on the women's line because one woman fell in love and her heart was broken so badly and she was sacrificed, and the man that she fell in love with, who was married and all of that stuff, which whatever. No judgments, don't care. But not my business. But Sally Owens decided that she was going to write, because she never wanted to have her heart broken. She never wanted to fall in love. When she was a little girl, she wrote a spell, and a love spell. And the man had like one green eye and one blue eye, and his favorite shape was a star. And he rode a pony backwards and forwards. And I don't know why I remember these things, but I do. So forgive me. And like all these other, like, you know, little details. And it was like, these are so impossible. It could never happen. And then the universe delivered. Right. So the idea is be very fucking specific. Write whatever you want. Stop judging if it's impossible or not, because those things are possible. It doesn't mean like, oh, the universe just created this man. It's like every experience possible, everything exists all at once. Time has already happened. We're just slow to catch up on it. Like, but everything that could possibly ever exist does. If you have the desire to it, that means the possibility is there to do it, to have it, whatever. That means the possibility is there. Violet, I have yours. So I do believe in multiple timelines. I've had experiences with them. I tell this story all the time because it's the most profound to me. That was like so obvious, because I've had glitches where literally like stuff, I can't explain it, where my world literally looks like a glitch for a second. But this one was like, I watched a movie on Netflix one year. It was a Christmas movie. And the very next year it came on. I was sitting on my couch, same place, same house. And there was a movie trailer for it. And now it was being released into the theater, and it never was on Netflix. Like, that's a pretty profound thing to happen, where you're like, and I know the whole storyline and everything. So make your list. Make it seem impossible. It doesn't matter, because your consciousness is moving to that space experience. I do believe there's certain things that will happen across multiple timelines. That's why I kind of have a really hard time with the idea of time travel, because I think the people who know about time travel must also know about infinite parallel universes. And so then what's the point? Because time travel makes sense only in linear time. It doesn't make sense in parallel universes. Sorry, not sorry. It just seems very limiting and stupid, quite frankly. Wait, what? You're back, you as you predicted. They took Dad yesterday to the hospital. He had an emergency. Oh my God. What did he have done? So I predicted, I guess, that he was going to have some health issues. Do you mind? You don't have to share, actually. It's private information. So if you want to, you know, you literally had a major timeline get glitched yourself. Let's just say in one timeline, a person flat out did not exist. But when I phased back into the current one, they were there a day later. That's crazy. No one had even acknowledged this person existing. But the next day they acted like that wasn't the case. That's interesting. Oh, another time, this is actually kind of interesting. I read for somebody, and she was already completely divorced when I read for her. But I know I read for her like a year earlier, another time, where she was maybe contemplating divorce at the point, and you think like, oh, well, oh no, no, it's opposite. I read for her, she was contemplating divorce, but I know I read for her at a point where she was already divorced. Same person, but like different timeline. She's like, no, I've never. I was like, have you ever had a reading with me? Because I was like, I knew I recognized her. I knew. And so then I like looked up, because she was like, no, I've never had a reading with you. And I knew her story. And I was like, I thought you were already divorced. Like, no. So, I don't know, whatever. Hair every time. Every time. Sorry, y'all. I will never, probably not. Maybe it's a stem. Maybe. Watch, that'll be like the face that that YouTube goes, this is gonna be your thumbnail. It always picks one where I'm like, I can never find, because I don't keep a straight face ever, apparently. So it like captures weird moments. So oh, he had an emergency operation. Okay. Is he doing okay? Is he, I guess he's out and recovering. What was I talking about before that? Oh, so make your list. Totally make your list about what you want. This is for everybody. I realize that I'm not specific enough in certain things where I'm just like, oh, I'm successful. But like, so then like, how do you know? What's the measurement? How do you know if that's like that's a belief system I've created, whatever? But like, be really specific what you want. His gallbladder, Jesus Christ. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm glad that I'm guessing he has to be on a lot of antibiotics. That seems like something that would be like happen because of infection. Oh, I forgot to I put YouTube, but I didn't mean to put YouTube. I meant to put for the list. Yeah. You had a tip with a new guy at work, Asaf, a few weeks back. Tension has been high. Do you get anything on that? He's a complete misogynist, and he didn't like being called out. I feel like I feel like you tried to bring something up with him about how to do something or a way to follow it, and it's not even. I mean, he is a misogynist, but he also just doesn't receive constructive criticism or guidance well. And he's emotionally immature. And violets for roses. That's who I should have put there instead of YouTube. I don't know why I put YouTube again. Sorry, dearie. Should put violets on here. Okay. That's literally what I felt. It just immediately. Let's stay that way from now on. I mean, that man holds a grudge, mostly because he just has a very tiny ego. Posted and listening while I multitask. Okay, you're not interrupting at all. That's just a feeling I get. It's just really, really tiny ego, like very fragile ego. And, you know, there's a lot of people like that out in the world. I was talking with someone recently, sort of like, if you want to go in the field of being in entertainment or whatever, like you sort of have to learn to take, I mean, really anything, you have to learn to take criticism. I mean, I have the community or whatever. I have a friend in it. I added in there because I know she'll give me feedback on what she thinks of it because she's been in other things. And I'm like, I need genuine, like, I don't want you to tell me it's all great. Like, tell me how you think I can do better. And so like, we're making adjustments, and I think it's important to have people who will give you feedback. It helps you grow. It helps you get better. I mean, you can't do it all on your own, and you need people who are a few steps ahead of you, even one step ahead of you, or people who have experience in different areas that can give you a different, I don't know. I value having friends around me that are honest and, I love feedback, and not because I need the validation, because like maybe you've got a different idea and I can't see it. I've never seen it that way because I don't have the experience. And I just feel like he's one of those tiny people that he takes it as this giant bruise to his ego. It is annoying. So it's such a small office with him, but I get the same vibes, all ego and hierarchy. Yeah. So it's sort of one of those things of like, you need to not worry about it. You need to stand in your own power and not worry about, like, I mean, you can be polite and kind or whatever and fucking write notes. After an incident that happens, you need to send an email to yourself and say, this occurred on this date at this time. I stated this. You can't say that they just, it's like literally just state the facts of what you see. So it's like, I notified Mr. Asaf, whatever, blah, 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 that X, Y, and Z needed to be done for this to follow this policy and procedure or whatever. And I noted that this is how it was done. And when I informed him, he stated X, Y, and Z. That's it. Don't make it like, oh, he seemed, you can say like, you can't say he seemed depressed because you don't know, but you can say like, oh, he shrugged his shoulders or he walked, like, this is how I charted with patients. Like patients' face was drawn, their shoulders were dropped. Like you just observe. It's all observations. It's not emotional. Just chart the shit out of it. Get a little note on it. So then if it continues to be a pattern, you can say like, hey, you go to, I know it's a small office, you go to HR or whoever the person is, or your boss, like whoever you're supposed to go to, whatever the chain of command is, right? And say, this is happening. This is what's happening. I used it into my advantage with doctors when I knew that orders need to be given and the patients needed a certain medication or a certain treatment and they weren't giving it to me. So I had a postpartum mom who was tacking along at 125, just chilling in her bed, or 135, just chilling in her bed. And I was like, yeah, so her heart rate was 135. He was like, oh, she's compensating. I go, right. She's sitting in the bed. I was like, okay, so I'm just going to chart that I notified you of her heart rate and I received no orders. He immediately gave me an order. I just told him the way I would chart it. Because that's all you can do. Like, I can't be like, I begged him, or you can't say that they're aware. You don't know if somebody's aware or not. You can just say you notified them. I discussed it with him, or I informed him. I notified him. You cannot say he's now aware. You don't know. You don't know what the fuck is happening in his brain. But you know what you said. You know what his response is and how he behaved. That's it. Meaning like shoulders drop, went back to work. Hi, Beerly. Although I read Beerly. Okay, I got the donation. Okay, what's your second question is about? Relationships. Do you see anything coming this year that would be long lasting? I don't know if it's long lasting, but I see more something serious towards November. I also feel like you're not super putting yourself out there. And I also feel energetically just feel very kind of like downtrodden and maybe not hopeful. Hope is a really beautiful thing. You heard the part about the practical mysticism and practical, that was a thing I did with in the past, put on like an expo, like a mini expo with different readers and different types of modalities with my friend Tony and I. And we had like people who did energy work and all this other stuff and lectures and of course little teachings, card readers, stuff like that. Sorry. Practical magic. Random. Sorry. So make the list of what you want and what you expect. I also think that you would really benefit from look at your past relationships and how men showed up in relationships, because that's going to give you a really clear indication of what your beliefs are around relationships and how people show up and what you believe you're worthy and deserving of. Look at it through friendships, look at it through work relationships too. It's not to like shame yourself. I mean, I do have moments of awareness where I'm like kind of observing and sort of thinking about the way things show up. And I got really sad about something really recently where I was like, oh, that's really sad that I tolerated that for so long and that I didn't. And again, it's like general across the board, not a one specific situation or person that I had a relationship with where I was like, oh, wow, that came from that. Right. But when you start observing, you can start finding patterns and it links you back to belief systems. And it's not to shame you and be like, especially this idea of like, we're responsible for creating our lives, because I think that really only applies once you know and understand how it works. Then you're responsible to start healing things and taking control and changing belief systems, because you don't have to continue with the same program for the rest of your life. So I feel like you'll start putting yourself out there like September. Hi, Monica. Happy New Year. So these are paid readings. They're $12 a reading. 30% goes to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Unless you want to wait, and then you can get a free Oracle card reading, but it's not based on the question or topic you want. You pick the deck, I shuffle and listen to them about how many times to shuffle, when to stop, and when to give you the card, and then I read it to you. That's all I do with it. Wait, what's your screen name? Beerly. Maybe it's Beerly. I don't know. Sorry. Wait, expanding my company. What do you mean? That thing was old. I haven't done that. We haven't done that in forever. It was a lot to put together, actually, and it was a lot of finding spaces. And we used this one place that was like it was a great space, and then they stopped letting us use it. And because another place another people they rented out to screwed something up. So then everybody was punished, and they stopped renting out the rooms. I can call you B. Thank God. Oh, yeah. So I'm doing, I have a community where it's a monthly fee, and there's weekly journal entries. And I'm as soon as this construction is done, I'm going to kind of front load it the first few months, where I put a little bit more in or do a little bit more. But the guarantee for every month is weekly journal prompts. You can go in there, you can chat. There's dream interpretation, there's tarot and oracle card interpretation if you're like sort of like learning and struggling, and I'm answering on them too. Like, I'm not leaving it to just I don't know why. I'm part of the community, right? Okay, so and then there's monthly meditation, live meditation, which I think I'm going to do live on Zoom, and then I'll post it to an unlisted on YouTube, so you can watch it back, and I'll put that in the community. And then like monthly Q&A or workshop, depending on the topic. So this topic, I'm going to do manifesting, because we're coming into, like, this is the end of the year of the snake. This is also like a big shedding period of Neptune is moving into Aries, which is this idea of, like, especially Aries, the first house is really about stepping into your own. So look at where Aries is on your astrological birth chart, and like what that house means. And that's like sort of Neptune will be sort of like basically removing any, because Neptune in Pisces is about like illusions and not being able to see the truth, and moves into Aries, and everything becomes very clear and obvious. So like your path forward, things like that. So I guess I am expanding my business. I didn't think of it that way. Thanks. I just think it's another way for people to communicate and to be connected to like-minded people. Okay, sorry. Thank you for keeping me on track. See? Okay, what do my guys want me to know regarding having to go to court over my inheritance when the time comes? I'm aware there will be a fight, that my father's girlfriend tried to write me out of the will. There won't be a fight. It's actually going to end up being really clear and obvious. And I feel like they default back to a former, like, even if she tried to write you out, they end up defaulting back to a former draft of it, because there's something that they feel like wasn't valid in the current one. It's going to go much smoother than you think and land more in your favor. I feel like it's going to be able to be proven that your father wasn't in the state of mind to allow or affirm that change in the will, and so it defaults back to the previous version, which leaves you in receiving. So that's what you're gonna sit there and have that mindset of it instead of worrying and fearing. And so one technique I've been doing is I'm gonna save it for the community. Forget it. Save it for the community. Top secret. But just affirm. Like everything, when you start to get worried, it doesn't matter. Everything's working out for me. Best case scenario. You've been told by someone else I'll have to hire a litigator. I don't know that you have to have a litigator. Honestly, I feel like there is somebody who is in charge of the, what do you call it? Starts with a P. Goes into, I can't think of the word. There's a legal term for it. I can't think of the name of the term. You don't have to hire a litigator. You're not going to have to do any of that. It's actually going to be really clear what happened. What's the name of the person who? Probate. That's what I'm like. I know it's a P. I didn't even get to the. It's just like finally came to me. So the probate attorney, the one who's making sure that what happens in the will, it defaults back. I don't even think you're going to have to go to court. It feels like even if it goes to a judge, like you're not going to have to hire anybody. It's literally going to be a decision made by a judge who looks at it and goes, or if you hire somebody as a representative, like it doesn't feel like it's going to court. It feels like papers are filed. It's proven that he was not of sound mind and body to make a decision to change his will that way and like okay it. And so there's nothing, like, stop being worried about it. She's just full of shit and hot air. Because I feel like you're getting threats from her. She's full of shit and hot air. Or you're hearing somebody go, oh, well, she said she's going to do this. And this is what it just because somebody says something doesn't mean it can happen. And he wasn't in the state of mind to be held accountable. I get like that. This is coming from somebody who's gone through a lot of abuse. You can't make somebody take accountability for something when they are not, they're just not capable of it. I can guarantee you, yeah, they don't want to, because then there's a whole story about who they are as a person if they take accountability for the shitty behavior that they created or enacted, right? So you have, I mean, you don't have to do anything. You can stay where you're at. I don't really, it's your world, right? Like your experience, but like what benefited me is understanding that like they're never going to admit what they did. They meaning several people. And so I can sit here and be angry about it, but then I'm still being held hostage by their behavior. Or I can just go, well, I'm never going to get that. So can I be okay with who I am as a person, knowing that this shitty thing happened to me and that they still have to live with themselves every day of their life? Sheila, these are paid readings until we get to the Oracle card thing. And then that one is just like a general, I pull a card, you pick a deck, I pull a card, not like you ask a specific question. They're $12 a reading, 30% goes to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. It's of no consequence. This is what I'm telling you. Take all the emotional shit out of it. Like literally, truly, legal stuff, they don't care about your emotions. Speaking of someone, I have 2 attorneys right now for different things. Like they don't care about your emotions. It is like, this happened, this happened, this happened. That's it. They don't care about the fight. They don't care about that they were fighting. They want to say, when did this happen? When was the will changed? The will was changed or attempted to be changed when he was not of sound mind and body. We default back to this will when he was of sound mind and body, and you were included in that will. I don't care how much they hate you. I don't care if you were trying to have a fight with them and but she was fighting. They don't give a shit. They're like, this is the legal document. This is when it was created. He was not a sound mind and body. he was diagnosed already with dementia or whatever it was, because I feel like not here, I feel like maybe even a little bit of alcoholic pickle brain. They default back to what's legal. They don't care about anybody's feelings or the fighting. They just don't give a shit. Stop being nervous about it. Just because somebody says something, again, you were fighting and we don't like you and blah, blah. That doesn't fucking matter in law. They don't care about that. That's what I'm telling you. So what if he was nasty to you? It doesn't fucking matter. He could not make a sound-minded body decision to change his will, and she was forcing the hand of it. So they default back to the other one. That is what I feel. I don't need to argue with you about anymore or try and explain anymore. I'm telling you that that's what's going to happen. Sorry. I just get to the point where I'm like, I don't care about all of your reasons of why you think it can't happen. I'm telling you what I'm getting psychically. This is what's going to happen. I had one client who was like, well, but I already have a job there. And I was like, that's great, but I don't see that happening. I'm telling you what I'm seeing is that it feels like a substitute job. I'm in a classroom, a different classroom every day, but I work full time. And it was like, well, they changed her position after we had spoken, and she would no longer had her own classroom. She had to move classrooms every day. And I was like, this is what it feels like to me. So I don't care about the fight. I don't care about what anybody else has said in your family. I don't care what they're telling you. I'm telling you, this is the way I see it. There's a reason that new will or change will not stand. And it feels like because there is not a sound mind and body and able to make that decision and make that change. When he was of sound and mind and body, that's what his will was. That's what they're going to default to. I sort of like, I told my mom with my sister, because I don't want to go to probate. I said, please do me a favor and have not a will, get a trust made. Put everything into a trust, have it divvied up the way, because then it doesn't go to probate. I don't have to fight with anybody about it. It's like, because I don't want to fight about it, because literally I don't want any of it if I have to deal with that. Like, I don't give a shit. It's just money. It's like nothing. I don't care. And I get that maybe that's a privileged way of looking at it, but like, my peace of mind will always be more important to me. I could live poor as dirt as long as I have peace. I don't really care. Not really. Like, I don't want to live poor as dirt for my kids, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a fancy person. Doesn't mean I don't like nice things, but also like I don't necessarily need fancy. Okay. I'm glad I gave you peace. I'm sorry for being like very energetic about it, but like sometimes people will argue with me about, well, but there's all these reasons. I'm like, I don't really care. Intuition does not make any sense at all. I do not understand how I get the things that I get. I don't know why. I am just as fascinated as you are when I get them right. Like, I'm just as excited and like, no shit, really? Like, I know you weren't trying to argue, but it's what an emotional response that happens when people are like, but let me tell you all the reasons why this could go wrong. I'm like, I don't really care about all the reasons that could go wrong. I'm telling you what I'm getting. You ask me a question, I'm telling you what I'm getting. Like, I don't care about, that's how I got good at what I'm doing, because I stopped caring about all of your anxieties around it, because your anxieties aren't what's happening. It's just the stuff that's going, like, not yours, but yours in general, people in general, not just you. I am literally just as excited when I get something right. I'm like, wait, seriously, that's fucking cool. Like, how did that happen? Like, I don't get what I do. I just know I can do it. Don't know how to tell you about it. My intuition's on point. I have so many validating stories. I don't get it. I just think, but I've also learned to like ignore everybody, because when I first started reading it, people were like, well, maybe it means this. And I'd be like, okay, because I wasn't confident in myself enough. And now I'm just telling you, like, I don't want to argue with you about it. Like, I get that, and I want to put your anxieties at ease, but like, also, I'm not going to change my mind. Regine's been a long time follower for sure. My friend messaged me yesterday. She's like, and she's the reason I do readings, actually, because we met at a light workers meetup group in the city, because I was just looking for people to connect with that were like different than people I worked with. And I walked in the room, and we were like a little on the Lower East Side, a little cafe. And she's like, what do you do? And I was like, I don't do anything. Things just happen. Like, I have dreams that come true. I see things, I hear things, but like, I don't do anything. It just happens. She's like, you're going to start reading. I was like, you're crazy. But that was like 19 years ago. So I did my first reading ever 19 years ago. So I don't know. Like where I sat with her and I was like, then I understood in that moment where I was like, oh shit, this is like why I can't fall asleep at night. It's not, my brain won't shut down. It's like I'm filtering a whole bunch of information. And oh, I was not making up being able to like feel and like feel what other people are feeling and know what they're thinking. And I mean, I don't know what they're thinking. You know, maybe you don't know what I mean. It isn't until recently actually that I could like hear people thinking. And it's not everybody, it's just certain people. You quit vaping? Yay! I'm so happy for you. I'm glad you listened. Vaping's the worst fucking thing you could do. Like honest to God, smoke weed every day, smoke cigarettes. But vaping is like it's something else and it just is not good for you. Okay. I'm so happy for you. Now your lungs are healing. Yay. Okay. Misty and Violet's and then B. So I learned yesterday because I was like, how is it going to be only, I think the high is 20 or 25. What is it right now? 17 right now. And I was like, how could it be that below freezing and still, because we may get sleet later or tomorrow and it's still going to be way below freezing. And apparently when you have like a warm air mass that gets sandwiched between a cold air mask, so there's cold on the top and bottom like a sandwich, and then warm on the in the middle, you can form sleet even when it's below freezing. Well, that's fascinating. Not that I'm looking forward to shoveling that, but still fascinating. You've been having a lot of dreams about your grandmother. She seems like she has evolved. Do people change after death? Absolutely, they do. So I'm going to give you an example. Is that really your question? Because I feel like that's a great general question. So if you want to ask a different one. So I went to Passover at Stu's aunt's house one year, and it was so his aunt and his father are brother and sister, and their mother was sitting in the corner on a chair in spirit. And it was like, I told his cousins, I was like, it's weird because they both had readings with me, or one of his cousins is into a lot of this stuff. And I said, it's weird because your grandmother's sitting there, but I can't see her head. Like she looks headless to me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. And they were like, oh my God, she used to cut her head out of like all the pictures. I don't know why. Didn't ask for it. They didn't really seem to understand it. And let me know her first name. And I said, and so she was saying that she herself had done a meditation and connected with her grandmother and she seemed healed and better. And I said, of course, like you're in your state. Because if you see her, like if I were to give you a reading and be like, oh, your grandmother is like all evolved and like say all these really, really nice things. And because their grandmother was not a nice woman, she would be like, you have the wrong person. You don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to give information about who they are as a person in a way that you would recognize it. But if you do the meditation, you're going to recognize them and then also know that they're evolved. Make sense? Corme. Okay. Is that a Creole name? What kind of name is that? Did she have a stroke? Because I just feel a lot of pressure here on this side of my head. And when I'm like looking at the brain, it seems like um, it looks like what a scan of a stroke on a brain, a massive stroke on a brain would look like, where it's just like kind of black and then there's an edge of gray matter. Um, and I also feel really nauseous. Not that you know of. Oh, Appalachian. Do you know how she died? Just say yes or no. It's funny, for some reason I think of Appalachian and Creole. I kind of feel like it's very same energy. You do know how she died. Um, like, did they find her in her sleep? That's my question. It's like, because I'm like, did she pass in her sleep? And then, because it feels like, I feel like something happened with the brain here. Your grandmother was really, actually, I feel like very psychic. Um, you're unsure. What is the red hand? Oh, the you said sorry for that. um, what's funny is I feel like pretty healthy. I don't feel like she had suffered a lot of illnesses. I don't think she ever went to the doctor. Um, but I feel like when she went, it was big and quick, is the feeling I get. And this headache thing and the way that I'm seeing, like, where I feel like there's something about, like, where it's like, I just feel like it just looks like black. Um, I feel like she told a lot of stories that people thought were stories, but they were things that she actually experienced. Like, I almost feel like people would have said she was crazy, like she seems crazy, or dismissed her. But there was a lot of things that were happening around her, energetically speaking. Um, I don't know if it's like interdimensional overlaps. Um, I would say she was clairvoyant for sure. Um, she was physically abused as a child. Um, did she ever talk about getting hit with a cane or something like that? Because it's like I'm hearing the word cane, but I don't know if that's like just a terminology for a tool or if it was an actual cane. Um, and I feel like her father had an alcohol issue. Um, do you know if her mom worked? Because it's a feeling of like my mom had to work or had to do something to make money, so it was like she wasn't there to hurt her. Whippings were a big part of the culture. Yeah, but her dad used a cane or something where it looks like a stick with where it's split apart on the ends. Like, and she called it a cane. Um, so she felt like her yelling was not nearly as harsh. I feel very short-tempered with her children. Her dad is a drinker. Her mom had to scramble the whole thing down. Yeah, that's the feeling I got. I feel like she's trying to help you develop your own stuff. I feel like she worked a lot with herbs and things of that nature and spell work. Um, she makes me feel like she liked to practice baneful magic and warding. Um, she's like, I had no shame in it. Those people deserved it. Um, and she had something where people came to her to do workings or to do something, because I feel like I'm getting paid cash in my kitchen for this. She's not a warm and fuzzy woman, but I'm not like afraid of her, and I guess um, um, she's I don't want to say like, oh, this is a message for you, but I feel like she wants to help you from the other side in developing your own stuff and working with your own abilities. Um, there's not like a big message of like, oh, I'm like, I don't feel like you had beef with her or unresolved issues. When that happens, that's when people come forward and they're like, I'm so sorry. You should have been better. But she feels very matter of fact about it. Like, this is who I was, and these are the reasons I was that way. And I felt like I was doing better. It it wasn't great, but it was better than what I had. Um, it's like I look at like my mom had said one time, like, well, you always like defend her mother, and I was like, I just offer her grace the same way I do you, like, meaning like I know that you had stuff in your childhood, um and the fact that like she was in an orphanage for 4 years at a young age, that does something to your psyche. And was dropping out at 8th grade and um rolling her own cigarettes at 9 years old. Like, that sort of growing up does something to your psyche. So yeah, I have a lot of empathy for her, and I recognize that. And her dad died when she was 4. Like, I don't know. So she's sort of matter of fact, like, I was this person, but also this is what I came from. So I couldn't have been much more than that. Um, I feel like you could meet with her in a meditation and she would guide you in different ways of, like, it feels like spell workings to me. And also just learning to trust your intuition as you're going. Like, if you go into spell work, of knowing what to put in a jar or knowing what to put in a thing, um, or burn on a candle or whatever. Just more confident now in your dreams. I feel like she'll come back in another lifetime with you, or you're already living another lifetime together, as a closer relationship. I heard that Peter Cetera song from the 80s, that next time I fall in love, I'll fall in love with you. Um, but it's more of the idea of like, not that you'll be romantic partners, but just this idea of like, like the next time around. Okay. All right, Violets, what's your question? She might have also done sigil work. My friend V wants to know what plans. Can you tell me her first name, please? She was hard to be close to, but I'm feeling like we're starting a relationship now. You're very welcome. Yeah, she doesn't feel like a warm, friendly grandma. Well, I mean, I read it. That's kind of doing these live is that I do read it out loud. And I say that because if someone watches this back, it's kind of weird. So just her name? Sure. Wait, how did you go from V to a name with a W? She could always do an email reading and then it's more personal and quiet. It costs more, but like, you don't have to worry. That's why I do these so cheap because I know that you're putting yourself out there. So that's another bit of energy. And also, like, it's already so anonymous. Tell her to open up her energy more. Okay, Victoria's your friend. Okay, tell her to open her energy up more. And I say that because no one's going to know from that name who this is. Like, it's just not. And your screen name is so ambiguous. Like, it's not going to matter. I'm glad she's watching, but like, open your energy up more. I'm not, because what happens when people go, oh, I'm gonna be as tight as I can, and then like then she gets it, then it's real. It's like, no, because I have agreements with my guides. If you don't want me to know and you're all tight and tied up, I'm not gonna know. I don't push past boundaries. I'm not working that hard. I don't care that much. If you want it all sealed up, that is yours and yours alone. There are plenty of people. I don't read people without their permission. I mean, I'm a observe things, but I'm not delving into your personal life. I don't really care. Um, and I don't hold judgments if whatever bleeds through, but there are some people who are really tight and like Stu has friends who are like, don't want anything to do with what I do. And I'm like, great. I don't care. I'm not reading you anyway. I'm not getting anything on you. I don't get anything on you because you don't want me to have anything on you. Okay. I know it's not like it, but I'm just saying, like, just like you may not feel like it's hiding, but energetically it will feel that way if you're like, I can't say my name. I can't be, it's just a first name. Especially because she's not typing it. So it's your energy that's there, not hers. So I need something else to connect her. Like when somebody writes in, it's like, is my husband? I'm like, what's their first name? Because otherwise all I'm feeling is all of your stuff and not hers. Okay. Okay. And sometimes people need that explanation because that's how it works for me. I don't know how it works for other readers. I don't really care. She's not going to get promoted initially. She's going to get moved like a lateral move first. She stays within that lateral group and then she gets promoted. I don't know if this is 2 to 3 projects later or 2 to 3 years later, but I'm leaning towards projects later. So it's like, then there's a promotion after that, but she's not ready for that promotion yet. As much as she may feel that she is, there's something else that she needs in order to get that. And also the position for her to be promoted to that will be best available, like where she would be happiest and want to stay, is not open yet. Like it's not created. It doesn't exist. The department doesn't exist. I was just thinking about like the people, I'm like, I've never really sneakily read somebody, or it's like, I'm not, when people are like, where I'm talking, they're like, are you reading? I'm like, no, God dang, that's exhausting. Like, no, I'm not. Like, sometimes I pick up when people are nervous, or, I mean, I know when people are attracted to me or repulsed by me, but like, I mean, that shit's just obvious. Like energetically, it just bleeds off of them. But when people don't want me to read them, I literally don't get anything. It just doesn't, like if they set up, because I set up with my guides, if they don't want me, it's a belief system for me. If I'm not supposed to read them, if I'm not supposed to, like they want to like be private, I won't get anything on them unless they specifically ask. And then it opens up. But it makes sense because you're still quite new at everything. Yeah. So it feels like it's not yet. I'm making a lateral move, and I feel like I'll be in charge of that group, like a project manager or something like that. But like, I'm not there yet. Okay. B, what's your question? And then we'll do oracle card readings. You're asking because her manager said she'd write on to her boss about her, but I'm not sure. It's not that I think that those conversations aren't happening. They're happening. But I feel like the boss will, or whoever is above, right? That like indirect boss, won't feel like there's a space and a position available yet, but this will give her the resume building skills in order to get to that point where she wants to be there. Oh yeah, Regine, ask your question. Oh my God, I totally forgot that we didn't read for you. I'm sorry, dear. Your second one. Wait, we didn't read for you. You owe me two. Can you help me see how the connection between Jeff and you will advance in the next couple of months? I'm throwing this out there. This is the feeling I get around this. Like what's happening, and then I can give you a better guidance. I feel like Jeff is somebody that you're friendly with, but you intentions and on, it's like you have a crush on him, but there's no more than just friendly banter, and you're maybe manifesting him as an SP. Am I correct? Because I don't feel like there's a relationship there, like a romantic one yet. Let's close my fish together. It's a situation thing you've been on and off for a long time. Okay. He sees this as friends. Okay. So here's what you're gonna do. It's like that's like I was like, I think we can do this differently. I don't feel like he's a bad person. This is what I was talking about with Cindy, and I want you to go back to this. This is the manifesting. This you would really, really benefit from joining my group and doing these things. Even just to come to the chat we're gonna do. So here's the deal. I 1000% believe that people show up how we believe that they will, what we believe we're deserving of, etc., etc., etc. I believe you can manifest anything in your life. I believe you can manifest so SP doesn't have to be like just a romantic person. It can be your boss. It can be your kid. I do this with my kids all the time when I'm like, oh, they're not. Nope, this is the truth. This is how it's going to work out. It's all going to be fine. What's all going to be, like I have really started leaning into using it for them, especially my oldest, because I had a lot of stories around how she would show up all the time, and, and so I'm changing that, and not because but because I like the ease of it. I don't know. Anyways, and even my other kids, I use it on everyone. So if you think it's manipulation, fine, but I call it just moving my consciousness into another timeline where it exists the way I want it to exist. So the idea is, nope, instead of focusing on does he like me? Does he stop worrying about what he wants? Just decide what he wants. It's not manipulative. You're moving yourself into a timeline where that version of him exists. There's infinite versions of him that are out there. You're choosing the one you want him to show up as. And then when he doesn't show up perfectly the first time, because he's like, oh, you don't settle for what you don't want, where you're like, well, I guess this is better because he wants to like date. But like, I really want a super serious relationship where we're like best friends and, you know, great partners and all of that. Like, well, then don't settle for like, well, I guess like he'll hang out with me on a Friday night if he doesn't have anything better to do. You don't want a situationship. You don't want somebody like, and you don't have to go like, and we communicate all the time. Well, you would be communicating all the time if you're in a relationship. That's a given, right? All the things that you want, you decide he's going to show up that way, and you're just going to persist with that idea. And then when your worry or your doubt comes up, and you're aware that the worry and doubt comes up, it doesn't mean that you failed. It doesn't mean that it's not happening. It just means like, oh, I'm aware of that old pattern now, and nope, I'm going to stick with the new one. And the new one says, I get what I want. We're in a relationship together. He's loyal and trustworthy and honest, and I don't know, whatever else you want in a relationship. He only chooses me. I'm the only one that he's attracted to. I'm the only one he cares about. Like whatever it is you want. And you just persist with that. He'll show up, and then don't act surprised when he does, because that's the way the world is. And if you don't believe me, start with something smaller that you feel like is totally obtainable. I 1000% believe in manifestation. So I can sit here and tell you, but I'm telling you, in the energetic space you're in right now, it's never going to be anything more than it is right now. That's why I'm telling you, do these things. It will shift it. I don't think what I do is like, this is the end all be all. I think I'm reading the energy from this timeline and where we're at and the directions it's going. It doesn't mean it can't change or that you can't change it. I had a woman, a client for a long time. I haven't read for her in a while, but like, I was like, at first I was like, oh, you're going to have a third kid. It's a girl. And then there was a point where I did not see it at all. And then she was like, oh, I'm pregnant. I didn't even feel that pregnancy, actually. She has the baby's healthy, all of that stuff. But like, the point being is like, I can only read from where you're at energetically now. That makes sense. I will sit with that for a little bit. Yeah. I mean, just think about like, why do you think that you're not worthy and deserving of him showing up and like valuing you and like embracing you and loving you just as you are? Regine, not this week, but early next week. And I feel like there's some kind of slowdown or glitch of some sort that keeps you from being able to get there till then. And I'm not fully certain if that means like with a visa or if it means with the airplane and flights and things like that. But it's like I do see you there like by early next week. So first week of February. You're welcome, B. So Regine asked, I was making plans to leave to go to France to help her mom and dad this week. Do I see her in France? And it feels like for whatever reason, there's a little bit of a delay in getting there. I feel like your dad's gonna be on like a lot of antibiotics for a while, just because of that. It feels like, you know, there was infection. And anything but, you know, anything in the abdominal cavity is not good, other than what's supposed to be there. A lot of antibiotics. Yeah. So I would put him at probably 10 days of IV antibiotics. That's what I mean, that's what they do in the United States. If like you have what's that little organ that's a non-usable organ? Appendix rupture. It's usually like 7 to 10 days of IV antibiotics. And if it's ruptured, like depending on. I like that you spelled it the French way. Antibiotique. And that's not psychic. That's just me having the knowledge and background for it. I predicted all. What did I say? Do you remember what I said? I mean, I can go back and watch it. See, again, I don't remember most of the stuff that comes out of my mouth. There will be things that jog my memory where I'm like, oh, like if something happens or I see something, I'll be like, wait a minute. And I can put things together and remember things from the past, but then I can never remember exactly when I said it. It's like going to find and prove it. It's so annoying. Anything else you need to know? Is that like a general? Um, I feel like even when you go, I'm like, I feel like there might be some hesitance in what I'm going to tell you. I feel like even when you go to France, that you're still supposed to continue doing your readings and working. So bring some decks with you. And your mom may feel a little weird about it, but she'll get over it. I feel like her mom did workings and divinatory or healing type stuff with herbs. So it's not like that out of range. I just feel like your mom somehow became averse to the idea of anything that's different. Um, that's what I feel like I'm getting. Sorry, I know that's like not exciting. Hang on. She was raised with her godmother. You read for people. Oh, okay, perfect. I was like, I feel like somehow your mom became like under the belief system of Christianity, so it made her uncomfortable. I feel like she's starting to question and wonder things, but I also feel like there's a fear-based thing there that makes her think that it's demons or something bad. I still feel like you're supposed to go and do your reading. So maybe you end up going to like a cafe and doing lives at a cafe or a park or something like that. But I still feel like you're not supposed to stop doing what you do just because you're going there. How did she get indoctrinated into Christianity? There's still, so the interesting thing when you start to deconstruct from Christianity is that you still for a long time, even if you're not like, I'm not in alignment with that, there's this like lingering fear that kind of is there that like, oh no, something bad is going to happen. Yeah, by listening to people in fear. Yeah. um Hi, Sendam. She's very intuitive, but she doesn't understand herself. Yeah, I mean, my mom was, one thing she said was funny. She's like, because she used to drink. She's like, when I used to drink, I would think I was psychic because like I would know who was calling before, and this is before they had caller ID. She's like, I knew who was calling before I would answer the phone, and I was like, yeah, you are. You just, the alcohol like lets you step out of your left brain a little bit. Um, Salutations. um, so yes, I'm wearing my black pants again. I'm gonna throw on some snow pants and go out and shovel. So it's just easier to wear these.
I was joking around with a friend the other week because I wore jeans and I realized when I got home, I was like, oh my God, my fly was home. I think my jacket covered it, so you couldn't see anything. But I was like, she's like, well, hopefully you didn't have like fancy undies on. And I sent her those. I don't know if you guys have seen those, like Kim Kardashian, the ones that are like look like a wig, if you will. You can look them up. But her like Skims line produced them, and I was like, I was just wearing these, so it should be fine. But like, yeah, I'm a weirdo. I don't know. I don't have to worry about zippers being down if I wear these. You're welcome, Regine. Sinden, these are not, the list is closed right now, but these are this portion now that we're gonna switch over to Oracle card readings is paid readings. They're $12. 30% goes to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey if you have a specific question. You're welcome. Okay. You know what's funny? I didn't even read the description of the job search. And then when I went back and looked at it, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is right for her. Like, I think it's, but I still feel like it's something of like, you needed to look at that to be like, to look outside of the box of what you think you need to look at. No worries. So let's do Oracle card readings if anybody wants one. Voice of the Souls. I'm probably going to be having a hard time reading without my glasses, but we'll just figure it out. Magic and Mediums, Inner Child, Wisdom of the Oracle, Trust Your Vibes, Past Life, Spirit Animal, Green Witch Oracle, Women of Myth, and how about Spirit Animal? And I can do the Enchanted Map too. Magic and Mediums for McKeegan. You're still here. You disappeared last week. Voice of the Soul for Nicole. Enchanted. Oh, wait. Misty and McKeegan want Magic and Mediums. Voice of the Soul for Nicole and Enchanted Matt. For Violets. All right, we'll start there and then. My list. Okay. Oh, it's Nicola. Sorry. Enchanted Map for Violets. You want also Enchanted Map. Okay. We'll start there. Anybody else wants one? Add it to the list. Okay, so this one is for McKeegan. What will be beneficial to McKeegan? Nature. All right, this is the one that's a little hard to read, but I will do my best. Hold on, this sneeze. Excuse me. Okay. When I worked in the nursing home at 15, I was so afraid I was going to give somebody a heart attack. Like if I was walking behind the hall and I sneezed, that I like learned to like really try and sneeze as quiet as possible. And then like didn't occur to me till like recently where I was like, oh, they're probably deaf as shit. They couldn't have heard it anyway. Because you go through the dining room and you hear like all their hearing aids buzzing. Okay. Sheila, we're done with the paid readings. So if you want to pick a deck for a free Oracle card reading, I'd be happy to do that. Okay, so this is for McKeegan, and he got the nature card. The phenomena of the physical world collectively includes plants, animals, the landscape, and other features and products of the earth as opposed to humans or human creations. Going in my eyeballs. Okay, humans share similar genes with plants and play a crucial role in the natural order. You are a part of nature, like various other life forms. You depend upon the natural world for survival, and beings within the natural world. Beings within the natural world depend upon. Sorry, that felt like that was like marbles in my mouth. And beings within the natural world depend upon you for their own continuity. Every day there is a give and take made between humans and the natural world. Trees naturally convert the carbon dioxide you exhale into the oxygen you inhale. Plants thrive and blossom when you give them love. Botanist Luther Burbank, who developed over 800 varieties of plants, would sing and speak to plants in addition to create an environment of love for them to heal and grow according to his wishes. Some believe that certain plants and beings are birthed in response to both human and earthly desires, as there's always both a poison and a cure to be found within nature. As nature has a consciousness and purpose, you can connect with it in order to learn about your natural role in life and begin a symbiotic relationship with the natural world. You can do this. I have done it. Care for nature. To do this, you can do any of the following actions: clean up litter, recycle everything from clothing to cardboard, use natural products, minimize your use of plastics, donate to conservancy groups, lobby for policy that protects the environment, and educate others on how they can support nature via word of mouth or your art. Begin a relationship with nature. To do this, you do not need to venture to the countryside or depths of the jungle. Becoming intimate with nature can be as simple as admiring a freshly cut flower in the grocery store, walking barefoot on a patch of grass, hugging a tree, or thanking the coffee beans or tea leaves within your beverage before consumption. There are a plethora of ways that those within the city can get closer to nature. The easiest is to display an image of a natural landscape being of nature in your workplace or home as an art piece, statue, decor, or digital screensaver. Bringing elements of nature into your home as herbal teas, natural fruits or vegetables, and indoor plants will also initiate a greater understanding of the natural world. By caring for an indoor plant or maintaining a garden or window farm, you will have to learn what your plants need by listening, reacting to how they. Sorry, it's really hard to read when I can't see. Okay. Reacting to how they deal with their wants for water, sunlight, etc. You can also open your heart to have active communication with the spirit of any plant. By moving into your heart space, you will be able to have a telepathic or spiritual communication with the plant in which you can directly ask about its healing properties, life, and what it has to teach you. If the plant has medicinal properties to share, you can create essences, oils, soaps, and various forms of topical or digestible medicine. I would double check anything you're ingesting or putting on top of you to make sure that the plant is safe. From the plant itself that will deliver its healing to you. To hear its messages outside of active heart-based communication, you can sleep near the plant or study its biology. By sleeping near a plant or having its leaves underneath your pillow in a satchel, you can more easily have the plant communication with you in your dreams or just feel its energies. Lavender and mugwort are popular plants to sleep with as they aid in relaxation. Analyzing how the plant grows, looks, and even feels may relay life lessons to you. For example, as succulent plants retain moisture in order to survive in arid climates, they may inspire you to not dry out your financial reservoirs in order to survive any financially dry season. Admiring a rose that is beautiful but dangerous with its pointy thorns may remind you that you can be both beautiful and tough. Okay. One inquire if I'll get a job or apply for at Brookside Dairy Limited. I'll get it. Sheila, again, I think I said this, right? We're doing paid readings. That is what that question would be, but we're done with those for today. They're only $12 and 30% goes to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Okay, so then I think you're welcome, McKeegan. Misty, you wanted this the same deck. Misty, what does Misty need this week? Focus. The state or quality of having or producing clear visual definition. Focused intent is the catalyst and driving force behind change in our physical world. Whatever you focus on becomes clearer and more real and grows more powerful with every thought you give it. Knowledge of the power of focus and intent, along with the application of these principles, allows you to manifest your deeply held beliefs and even change them. Candle magic is one of the simplest modes of manifestation that forces you to focus in on your desires and enables you to bring them to fruition. Manifest with candle magic. To do this, light an unscented soy or beeswax candle in a safe place free of distractions. An ideal place is one that's indoors and free of air that can disturb the flame. After the candle is lit, stare into the flame while imagining that as you focus on the flame, all of your desires are being put into the candle to be sent to the universe for manifestation in the physical realm. You can even hold your palms at a safe distance from the flame while imagining the energy of your desires constantly flows from your palms towards the candle. While you are charging the candle with your gaze, you can hum, sing, or recite a mantra that feels appropriate and only enhances your concentration. As you exude your desires and focus on the candle, the flame may respond to your energy by changing color, flickering, splitting, changing in size, or even dying. This activity can be interpreted as your spell working or not. Only let the death of the flame after your focus and only stop your focus when the time feels right. To extinguish the flame, use a snuffer and know that your wishes that served your highest good have been received. Okay. Next one is for Nicola. It's Voice of the Souls. Next one is for Nicola. Education, number 12. Did I not hold that long enough? Sorry, I just realized I was like, where? Here, she looks like she's doing a yoga pose. All right. Your soul. You have learned to wear a mask when you're in contact with others. Learn to show some things, but keep others to yourself. Learn to rely on what others want. Learn to take all criticism into account, even if it's not constructive. These things you have learned disrupt our connection and communication. They connect you to your mind. While you can hear my voice, it's from very far away, like a barely perceptible whisper. Today, release these things you have learned if they no longer hold meaning to you. Find a new connection. Find a new connection with me. Rediscover your inner beauty. Rebuild your frame of reference. Allow your own ideas and wants to flourish. This will help you hear me again as a calm, clear, gentle voice. Your spirit guides. Part of you is attached to a single way of contacting us. You may feel you need a specific ritual to communicate with us. That is not so. You only need to open your heart and speak honestly and sincerely, whether out loud or in a whisper. Practices exist to help you connect to your inner beings, but we are always here because you have your free will. We can't decide to act for you, but our presence is strong. You can get in touch with us through astral journeys. If you need specific signs, we invite you to meditate. It will help you feel our presence and understand our messages. Create your own ritual. Distance yourself from your old beliefs. You are evolving, and so is your practice. Have confidence in yourself. The entity. I was conditioned by my education in my past life. I thought this was normal, and I produced the same education myself. I thought rules set down since forever ago were the best. I thought being a good person meant copying what had always been done without trying to define new rules. Rules, norms, and frameworks are so important to me. Now I realize that this closed my eyes to important things and prevented me from questioning. I didn't even question myself. I have detached myself from these things now, and I invite you to do the same. Create your own frame of reference. In the next few days, I will manifest myself through music you will be listening to. You will realize it's me because the words will make you smile. You'll understand the message I'm trying to send you. Create your own freedom. I am working so you may do so now. Sorry, you may do so now. You may do so now. It is very important. This is, sorry, it was just written weird. I'm like, I don't know if that's a comma or a period because I literally can't see it. So I'm sorry I'm reading wrong. It's very important to do this now. We'll do it that way. Sorry, I can't see it. All right, Violet's Once Enchanted Map. I think this is an easier book to read. This is for Violet's. What card does she need this week? Goblins. And it's number 5. Goblins. Fear is an illusion. Choose love today. Forgive yourself and others. Upright. Goblins are born when you're wounded and something essential is lost in that experience. From that point on, as you forget your wholeness, they remain with you in the shadows. There they remind you of what brought them into being by mimicking your own voice, tricking you into believing that you're unworthy, victimized, or unlovable. They hold you hostage through low self-worth, self-sabotage, and the feelings that you're lacking what you need. If goblins pay you a visit, know that they represent the shadow of your own self and someone else's, and that they are leading you into a potentially reactive situation. A goblin's card appearance is an opportunity for growth, however, and a signal that you must love yourself. No human is without flaws. The goblin's message is that you must release resentments and negative self-talk. Within you is the spark of the divine. Ask Spirit to help you heal. Miracles can and do happen. Let go of the negativity. Oh, I'm glad you caught me too, Denise. How are you? So that was for Violet's. Oh, and then Cindy, I think, wants this one too. Cindy to hear today. "47 Sacred Pool." This is for Cindy. Okay. The world is a reflection of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Embody the love you wish to see in the world. When you look into the mirror, do you like what you see? The Sacred Pool card asks that you focus on self-love and self-esteem. Are we reiterating what I said earlier? Okay, we are all works in progress. So a detached self-examination may be rigorous made with rigorous honesty is called for now. Reflect by the sacred pool and be at peace with yourself. Can you see how far you've come and how magical your life is? Do you notice the spark of the divine shining through your eyes? When you're conscious, that you're the embodiment of spirit, it becomes easier to respect yourself and act in good conscience. Then you'll then you'll reap the greatest rewards. Your unique service to the world is not only needed but celebrated. See the love within you and know that if you cast it upon the waters, it will return to you tenfold. Be at peace, for you are beautiful and loved. Act with the surety and confidence, and success shall be yours, whatever your inquiry. I didn't say it, but I said it. You know what I mean? All right, that's all I have on the list for people who wanted card readings. So with that, I will say adieu. I have some snow to shovel. I hope you all have a fabulous week. I know many of you are here on the East Coast, so hopefully you don't have much to shovel or much to do. And I will see y'all next weekend. I will be here. And if you're in the community, I'm going to go in and ask when is a good time. I'll list a couple times of availability that I have. When is the best time for you so that you can be there and participate, because it doesn't work without you. Stay warm and safe.